Hello, I am at my boyfriend's house getting some fresh air and thought I would record a video on why I said no to 3 paying gigs last week. It's been something that I've been reflecting on. So, as I've mentioned before, I am a freelancer. I work for myself, which means I work for clients on a project basis mainly. I do events for different organizations and agencies, and I've been doing this for the better part of 15 years, and it is by nature an unpredictable thing when you work for yourself. You don't know necessarily when the next project is coming, and it's something you have to be used to in some way because it always works out in the end, and so by nature of that, I've always had faith that it would work out. There were some scary moments in there, especially during COVID. No one was doing events there. During that time, I was actually able to really step back and think about what I wanted the bigger picture of my life to look like, and to realize that I didn't have to hustle and be in that scarcity mentality mode that I had been in. COVID really forced me to stop and slow down and take a break. And to also explore other things. I went and got a master's degree during that time. I really realized that I wanted my life to encompass greater values. I still wanted to do events, but I wanted to make sure that I gathered people and organizations over shared values, joy, community. I wanted to have a part in creating those experiences, and not just the logistics part of it, but the design of the experience. And I also found a greater purpose in doing this work for the greater good, which is connected to the other part of my work right now, which is, so I have the work I do with my clients, and then I have this other project that I'm working on that does contribute to that greater good that hopefully I'll share more about when I'm ready. So I've had to navigate uncertain times for sure, like I did during the pandemic. And when events came back in full force like they did a couple years ago, I really decided that I would be thoughtful about how I would take on clients. I really wanted to take on work not from a place of scarcity, but from a place of abundance. I wanted to work with clients and on projects that really aligned with my values, that I felt really good about working with. And I wanted to also have more balance in my life. I wanted to take care of my well-being more, have more flexibility during the day and not just be in front of my computer all the time, but have flexibility to go on a walk more, go to the gym. Even though I've always worked for myself, or I have for the greater part of 15 years, I never let myself enjoy those things in the middle of the day. So I knew that once I came back to my work, I wanted to do so more thoughtfully. The thing that makes that challenging is that the beginning of the year is always slow. The first quarter, everyone's just getting into the swing of things, figuring out what projects or events they'll be working on as an organization. And the beginning of the year is usually really quiet. The first part of last year, I would say for a good 4 months, was really quiet, and it made me really nervous, made me really anxious. I had lots of conversations with potential clients that ended up falling through. They didn't move forward for different reasons, not reasons that were negative by any means. They just weren't the right thing. And I spent a lot of the first quarter and then some of last year being really nervous about whether work would come my way or if I would have enough work. In the end, it all worked out like it always does. But it's challenging to stay out of a scarcity mentality when things are slow, especially, if you want to work in a way that aligns with your if you want to work in a way that aligns with your values, that already is going to put you in a little bit more scarcity because you might be saying no to clients that aren't aligned. And then on top of that, it's also not as busy. So the beginning of this year, like last year, it was slow for the first month or so, and projects came through quicker than they did than last year. I have a couple of really great projects that I'm working on, but I still have capacity to do more work. So last week, out of the blue, 3 projects came my way. 3 of them I had worked with all of them before in some capacity, so I had an existing relationship with them. But I said no to all of them, even though I do have that capacity. And I said no to all of them for 3 very different reasons. The first one was simply that they didn't pay enough in their offer. I have worked with this entity before, and it just didn't align with the timeline that they were asking for in terms of the project and the pay that would accompany it. I felt like I could have done it and probably would have been really successful, but the amount of mental energy it would have taken for the amount of money just didn't feel aligned with me. So I politely declined. I do enjoy working with this group, so my hope is that there will be other opportunities in the future, but only if it aligns with what I need in order to get paid. The second one was a client that I've worked with for the past couple years on a really short-term, day-long project. And they, for those 2 years that I worked with them, were challenging in a way that I didn't enjoy. The project was successful in the end, and I did my best with them, and they were very happy with me, but they don't make the experience very pleasant. They didn't make the experience pleasant. And I just decided, again, the energy that I must exert in order to work with them just didn't align enough with the pay that they were offering me. So I also politely declined, and likely will not work with them in the future. And then the third project that I turned down was a project that I would have been excited to work on. It would have been in a location that was lovely. I worked with them for the first time last year, and my hope was to have another opportunity to work with them to really establish a relationship. But their project conflicted with a family commitment that I already made. I promised my sister that I would help her with some children caretaking with her kiddos while she was away for work. And while I was excited to work with them, they would have been the project that I would have been most excited to work on. I ended up declining the offer and telling them that I had a family commitment, but that I really hope to have the opportunity to work with them in the future. So I had 2 opportunities that were not aligned financially or energetically, and one that was, but it conflicted with a prior commitment I had. And all 3 of them were challenging to say no to for various reasons, not just because I don't like saying no, but 2, I do have capacity for work, and there's that part of me that questions whether saying no is the right thing, because I don't necessarily know when the next project is coming or the other projects that will come my way. So this is something I'm trying to learn and something I want to get better at in terms of trusting myself and trusting that the right thing will come along. And this is all to say that I'm not wealthy by any means. I'm lucky that I've been smart with some finances, so I do have some savings if anything were to happen. But I by no means have any independent wealth that allows me to just say no to whatever projects I want to. But I do believe that when you align with your values and when you take on projects and work or anything in life with a full-bodied yes because you know it is the right thing for you, then the right opportunities are going to come your way. This is something that I'm sure I'll have to remind myself about from time to time. But I want to look back on this time and be glad that I listened to myself, I listened to my body, and I didn't stay stuck in a pattern of scarcity. That I didn't believe that I didn't believe that this is the last opportunity for me. If anything, evidence has shown me that it's never the last opportunity. There is always another opportunity that comes along. And this goes for anything in life, whether it's work, relationship, partners, other kinds of opportunities. As long as you keep going and keep moving through life aligned with your values and what you believe in and are convicted in, I do believe that the right opportunities will come along. And you might get tested along the way, like I did last week. But the universe really, really takes care of you when you stay true to yourself. So I just want to remind myself to stay true to who you are and to realize that there is abundance in this world, that there will be the right opportunities that come your way if you believe in it. So that's my share for today. I will be excited to share about the next project that comes along and any other lessons that I'm learning in this journey.